Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Valpo Football Weekly. It's brought to you by our friends at Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. Brandon Vickery with you. Glad to be joined via Zoom by the head coach of the Valpo football program, Landon Fox, as we look back at a close game, a 28-21 loss at Illinois State, a Missouri Valley Football Conference opponent, a full scholarship opponent, in a game that was a ball game right until the closing seconds. When you look back at the game, what are your emotions? What thoughts come to mind about Saturday?
Yeah, Brandon, you and I had the opportunity to speak after the game, and I really don't feel any differently in terms of, you go back and you watch the film and, missed opportunities and against a good team, you have to take advantage of those opportunities. We had two opportunities in 2-minute situations, where we didn't even really, push the ball down the field and a chance to tie the ball game. And, I'd say for the most part too, like they just didn't give us the game in terms of, turnovers and things like that. You could say that the muff punt, that helped us, but then that being said, we went right back and gave them a touchdown on a kick return. And so, you have to take advantage of those opportunities when they present themselves. And then, you have to have the ability to kick off and get a stop and at least make them drive the field. And so those are the things you look back at, that make it tough, make it hard in terms of the loss, because you want them to earn it and not just, give them easy plays.
Well, let's talk about the mindset of the program for a game like this. And the last 8 times the program took on the Missouri Valley Football Conference, the games were decided by 50 points or more. And yet it seemed like you didn't let yourselves be beat before you even got off the bus, and what you might expect from a game like that. And then the mindset after the game and not accepting the moral victory. How would you describe the mindset of the program surrounding going up against a team of Illinois State's caliber?
Yeah, I would say, you look back and there's a reason you schedule games. And to me, that the North Dakota State game is a perfect example of that. The more you play those teams and the more you get used to the competitive level of those teams. And obviously the North Dakota State game was a rough one in terms of the score. But you saw yourself at times when you could execute, you put yourselves in good position. And to me, a year ago, that helped us to last Saturday or this past Saturday in terms of just the ability to, execution is a key. You think about it, okay, they're 2 steps faster or a step faster and maybe 10, 15 pounds, 20 pounds heavier. But if you utilize great fundamentals and techniques and you execute at a high level, you're going to give yourself a chance. And I think that stemmed from, hey, here's what we did in North Dakota State on a certain plays, not a bunch of them, or the score wouldn't dictate it. But we just did that on a more consistent basis on Saturday.
We talked about Ben Hines after the game, but I think his performance bears touching on again here. What did you see from him, and what has he brought to the table as he's transferred into your program?
Yeah, I think we had a pretty good idea that he was going to be a productive player for us. Really good football player. The thing that he does, he loves football, and so he enjoys the film study, the offensive scheme, what we're going to see week to week, and then his ability to get off blocks and make plays. That's on him. That's not necessarily, sure we'd like to say we're teaching those things, but he has an ability to a knack to find the football. And so very good player, and he'll continue to make plays for us throughout the year.
I think anytime you go into a season, 2 groups of players for any team that are talked about are the returnees that everyone knows about that had big years the previous season, and then the exciting newcomers. But for your team, there's a third group that's been super important, and that's a group of players that have been in the program, maybe didn't play a ton the last year or two, and now are getting a real opportunity this season. What does it mean to see that, and kind of who and what comes to mind when you think about those guys that are having a chance to have breakout years for you?
Yeah, Brandon, that's to me is the most exciting in terms of, because guys that see value in the program of, hey, I'm becoming a better person by being in the football program. My academics are important. Obviously I find a lot of value in the academics at Valparaiso, and so that's what makes you excited as a football coach to see a guy like Sam Hafner, who's making a lot of plays for us on the defensive side of the ball. James Dewar, who's made plays for us, but those guys, haven't played a lot, but their ability to stay with it in the program and keep grinding, you definitely like to see that in terms of their success, and makes you excited as a coach. And it gives those younger guys that maybe aren't playing right now saying, hey, you know what, my time will come. Just a matter of when and not if.
Let's talk about quarterback play. How would you assess the way Mason Kaplan played on Saturday, and where do things stand in the quarterback room going into practice this week?
Yeah, I mean, Mason, competed, he took some shots, and his ability to extend plays, and he was a competitor. And so you like that. Now, there's still things we have to do in terms of getting the ball out on time and making sure we have the right reads, and so we can be efficient on offense. I mean, he'll look back at that and, we'll be able to see some things that he can do a better job of. But, I would say that his play, puts us in a position to give us an opportunity to win the game.
Let's look ahead. Dartmouth, the opponent this week, a team that hasn't played a game yet this season. You had a competitive game against them a year ago. What do you expect going on the road to take on the Big Green on Saturday?
Yeah, I expect their best. The one thing that, it's not like last year where we're going to sneak up on them and, are they ready to go? Or are they not? We don't, you don't know. But I know one thing from our game last year, and I'd say what we've put on tape this year, their coaches aren't going to have to motivate them a whole lot. They'll be ready to go just based on what they've seen on film. So I think our guys need to understand that, and we're going to have to compete at a high level. I told them after the game, it doesn't get any easier. I mean, this is a really good team, 3 Ivy League championships in a row. And so another tough test for us on the road, and that challenges you as well.
There is the head coach of the Valpo football program, Landon Fox. It'll be a 12:30 Central Time kickoff on Saturday. You can catch the game on ESPN Plus as Valpo visits Dartmouth. And we'll talk to you again next week on Valpo Football Weekly.